In 2021, Zillow lost $500 million trying to use AI to buy and flip homes. Every major financial publication ran the same headline: AI had failed in real estate. The model was broken. The machines could not price property. Human expertise had survived the algorithmic challenge. That was the story. And it was completely wrong. What actually happened at Zillow was not a failure of AI in real estate. It was a failure of one company's risk management while deploying AI at a scale the industry had never attempted before. The underlying technology worked. The valuation models were improving faster than anyone publicly acknowledged. And within 18 months of Zillow's exit, every major competitor had absorbed the lesson and accelerated their own AI deployment. The industry did not retreat from AI after 2021. It industrialized it. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly how the $200 trillion real estate market, the largest asset class in human history, is being repriced by algorithms right now. You are going to understand why the information monopoly that justified every agent commission, every appraisal fee, and every mortgage officer's salary for a century no longer exists. And you are going to see the specific opening this structural shift has created for individual property investors who understand what is actually happening before the mainstream catches up. The mainstream has not caught up yet.
Here is the structural argument. Real estate's entire professional infrastructure, agents, appraisers, mortgage officers, property managers, was built on one foundational premise: that accurate property valuation and transaction navigation required specialist knowledge that ordinary buyers and sellers could not access independently. That premise was true for a long time because the data required to value a property accurately was genuinely difficult to obtain, aggregate, and interpret at scale. AI has destroyed that premise, not partially, structurally. Automated valuation models now process every comparable sale, every neighborhood trend, every structural data point, every school district rating, every crime statistic, every commute time, and every macroeconomic signal simultaneously, in real time, for every property in every market they cover. The information that justified the specialist is now available to a system that costs a few dollars a month to access. But this shift did not only remove something, it created something. A structural opening in property investment that previously required institutional resources to access. We will return to that opening before this video ends. First, let us understand what is being dismantled and why it took this long.
The modern real estate agent model was formalized in the early 20th century around a single structural innovation: the multiple listing service, or MLS. The MLS was created in the 1900s as a cooperative database of property listings shared exclusively between licensed brokers. Before the internet, this database was genuinely exclusive. If you were a buyer or seller without MLS access, you were operating blind. Agents owned the market's information architecture. That ownership justified the standard 6% commission that has governed residential real estate transactions in America for nearly 100 years. The same logic applied to appraisers, human experts whose access to comparable sale data and localized market knowledge made them the only credible source of property valuation. And to mortgage officers, relationship-dependent gatekeepers whose access to lending products and credit assessment expertise made them essential intermediaries in every transaction. 3 separate professional classes, 3 separate information monopolies, all 3 built on the same foundational assumption: that the data required to make real estate decisions could not be obtained without a licensed human intermediary. Then the internet arrived. And then something more precise than the internet arrived. By 2022, 3 technical capabilities crossed their critical thresholds simultaneously. The first was data comprehensiveness. AI valuation models gained access to not just MLS transaction data, but satellite imagery, building permit records, energy efficiency ratings, foot traffic patterns, social sentiment around neighborhoods, and rental yield data across millions of comparable properties. No human appraiser has ever had access to this breadth of data simultaneously. The second was prediction accuracy.
Automated valuation models reach the point where they outperform human appraisers in the majority of standard residential scenarios, not slightly outperform, statistically outperform. In a 2024 study across major U.S. markets, AI valuation models achieved median accuracy within 2.3% of final sale price versus 3.1% for human appraisers. The third was decision speed. AI mortgage underwriting systems, deployed by platforms including Rocket Mortgage and United Wholesale Mortgage, reduced approval timelines from the industry standard of 30 days to under 24 hours for qualifying applications. The same AI logic is now being applied in the UK, Canada, and Australia simultaneously. This is not an American story. It is a structural shift across every English-speaking property market that Vectr's audience lives inside.
In 2023 and 2024, the structural shift became impossible to ignore. The National Association of Realtors, which had maintained the 6% commission standard for nearly a century, lost a landmark antitrust lawsuit. The settlement, finalized in 2024, fundamentally changed how buyer-agent commissions are disclosed and paid in the United States. It was not AI that won that lawsuit, but it was AI that made the information monopoly the lawsuit challenged impossible to defend. When any buyer can access near institutional-grade property data through consumer AI platforms, the argument that a 6% commission compensates for specialized information access becomes structurally untenable. The legal verdict and the technological shift arrived in the same window. Simultaneously, commercial real estate, the market where AI deployment has been fastest and most aggressive, saw AI-driven property management platforms replace traditional building management companies at scale. In the logistics and industrial real estate sector, AI systems are now selecting site locations, negotiating lease terms, and optimizing occupancy in ways that previously required dedicated real estate departments with teams of analysts. The commercial and residential markets are being disrupted on different timelines, but by the same structural logic. The new real estate architecture operates on three principles that are fundamentally different from the legacy model. The first is continuous algorithmic valuation. Property values in AI-native markets are no longer static figures assessed periodically by a human expert. They are dynamic signals, updated continuously as new data flows into the model. A sale closes 3 streets away, a new school rating is published, a planning permission is granted, a flood risk assessment is updated. The AI knows before the market does. The second principle is relationship-independent transaction access. The MLS information monopoly is effectively over. Consumer platforms including Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, and dozens of PropTech startups now surface comparable sale data, neighborhood analytics, and AI-generated valuation ranges directly to buyers and sellers without professional intermediary. In markets like the UK, platforms including Zoopla and Rightmove have deployed AI pricing tools that generate seller valuations in minutes. In Canada, House Sigma gives buyers access to historical offer data that was previously only available to agents. The geographic scope of this shift is consistent across all major Vectr audience markets. The third principle is data-driven mortgage access. Algorithmic underwriting systems assess creditworthiness through a significantly broader variable set than traditional FICO-based models, analyzing cash flow patterns, rental payment history, employment stability metrics, and business revenue data for self-employed applicants. For the first time, the creditworthiness question is being answered by the actual financial picture of the borrower, not by their relationship with a specific lending institution.
So, what does this mean for the people directly inside this shift? If you are buying or selling a home in the next 12 months, the structural implication is this. The information asymmetry that made an agent's guidance valuable has substantially narrowed. The agent who survives this transition is not the one who provides data access. That function is gone. It is the agent who provides negotiation expertise, local contextual judgment, and transaction management under conditions of genuine complexity. Straightforward transactions in liquid markets are already being executed with minimal professional involvement on platforms that charge flat fees rather than percentage commissions. That is not a prediction. It is the current state of the market in several US cities and most of the UK residential market. If you are a property investor, The AI-driven valuation and underwriting landscape has created something that did not exist 5 years ago: a level playing field in property data access between individual investors and institutional buyers. The institutional investor's primary advantage was always information: better data, faster analysis, more comparable transactions in their model. AI platforms have commoditized that advantage. A private investor using AI valuation tools, algorithmic rental yield calculators, and AI-driven mortgage platforms is operating with a data stack that was functionally unavailable to non-institutional operators before 2022.
Now, the opening. For a century, institutional real estate investors, REITs, private equity property funds, large landlord corporations, had a structural data advantage over individual operators that compounded with every additional transaction. They saw more deals, modeled more comparables, and accessed better financing terms because their volume justified the infrastructure. AI has collapsed that advantage into a software subscription. An individual investor with access to AI valuation platforms, algorithmic deal sourcing tools, and AI-native mortgage brokers is now operating with analytical capability that competes directly with institutional property analysis. Specific platforms, including PropStream, Deal Machine, and Mashvisor, now provide individual investors with AI-driven rental yield analysis, off-market property identification, and neighborhood trajectory modeling that previously required a dedicated research team. In commercial real estate, platforms including CompStack and Reonomy give individual operators access to lease comps and ownership data that was previously gated behind institutional broker relationships. The opening is not theoretical. The tools exist, they are affordable, and the operators who build their investment analysis workflows around them now, before the majority of individual investors understand that the data landscape has changed, are establishing positions in markets with an information advantage that compounds over time. The information monopoly that excluded them for a century is gone. What they build in the space it leaves behind is theirs to determine.
Real estate was the last major financial market where the information argument for human intermediaries was considered unassailable. $200 trillion of assets priced by relationships, local knowledge, and credential-based trust. AI did not make those things worthless, it made them insufficient to justify the structural premium that was charged for them. The market is being repriced, not eventually, now. And the repricing is not only happening to property values, it is happening to the value of the professional infrastructure that claimed the pricing function as its exclusive domain. What comes next is not a market without expertise. It is a market where expertise must be demonstrably better than an algorithm to command a premium. Most of what passed for expertise in real estate was access to information. That chapter is over.
This was it for today's video. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And as always, change is inevitable. It is like a cloak sewn to the back of our existence. And the world seems to favor the ones who embrace this change rather than reject it. Take care, and I'll see you next week.